So this is the story of Cisco, our rescue mule. That's Cisco. I'm going to say on the safe side about 20 years ago, we seen him advertised on Craigslist. So we bought him. We drove all the way to Alabama to get this guy. And they had his head tied real short. Which I don't know if you can hear me because my husband's out there on the tractor. So anyhow, this guy was tied to a tree, and I got on him, and I could not ride him. He was rearing up. He was barn sour. He was terrified of the world. I mean, he was terrified. So I was like, no, I don't want to get him. You know, I can't even ride the thing. And anyhow, my husband says, you know what? Let's buy him. We paid too much for him, actually. But let's get him, take him home, and get him out of this situation. It took us years before we could even ride him. We could not lead him with a lead line. He would take off and drag our asses. You'd see me flying by a window. You couldn't touch his ears. You couldn't do shit with this mule. He was so scared. So we found out that he was trained for reining. You know, that's where they do the spins and the sliding stops and all that stuff. So we found out that the first owner, or this is the second owner maybe, I don't know, he was transferred a lot, had him and would beat his ever-loving face all the time. And I mean, beat him in the ears. That's why he's so head shy. And so he's still head shy. So this guy bought him before we did. And they took him to the Colorado mountains, elk hunting. Somehow or another, he got loose, and they couldn't find him or catch him, not sure. And so they left him for 3 months in the mountains, in the snow. Don't you open that door up. And so when they found him 3 months later, or somebody else I think found him, he was skinny, he had frostbite all over his face. He still has frostbite, but we fixed most of it, but you can see it under his eyes. He's still terrified of people. We do not hit him. We do not yell at him or anything. We do everything in slow motion, but you can see how scared he is. He's traumatized. But when you ride him, he will take care of you. He will literally take care of you. He will not throw you. He don't drag you. Come here, bud. Come here. See how scared he is? That's how badly traumatized, and we've had him about 20 years. But if you look close enough under his eyes, there's no hair, and that's from the frostbite. He's got it worse under this eye. It's all right, bud. But like I said, he will not kick you. He won't bite you. He won't drag you. He just thinks he's going to be hurt. He does like men better than women, and that's because of that woman. But I'm glad we got him. He will live his life here on our farm. There, you can see his eye now. There's nothing, his whole face was like that. But he's a good boy. We got him to where he'll just lift his leg up for us. Lift it up, Cisco. Lift it up. Good boy. Actually, the farrier's coming out Friday to do all their feet. But anyway, that's him. So then the very first owner, it's not telling how many owners he's had, but the very first owner saw some photos of him, sent us photos of him when he was a little baby, and oh my God, he was so cute. He does what they call coon jumping, and it's like a standstill jumping. Mules are built differently than horses. They're built more like a deer, I would say. So they can jump. He's jumping 6 feet high at a standstill. And if you go on YouTube and just Google mule coon jumping, you will see how amazing these mules are. I call them Cadillacs with four-wheel drive because they're so comfortable. I can't ride a horse because of all the metal I have in my back and down in my hip. So I can only ride mules. They're a lot more comfortable. But he's an amazing mule. He was originally mine. My husband thought mules were ridiculous. He wouldn't even get on one. He rode horses. So I got him to ride Cisco, and he rode Cisco and took him from me. So Cisco's now his mule. Right, Cisco? He's looking at himself in the camera. He's like, oh, I'm so handsome. So we've had lots of mules that's come through our lives, and we've had some really bad ones that were really bad. But Cisco is probably going to be our favorite. Cisco. Hey, Budrow. Yeah, you see yourself again on the camera. We need to get a mirror for him so he can look at himself. His ears aren't as long as our other mules, so from a distance he looks like a horse. But he doesn't look bad for a 43-year-old. He's nice and fat. We actually keep food in front of his face 24/7. He gets alfalfa oats, alfalfa pellets, alfalfa cubes. He gets a sweet feed. He gets an extruded feed. All that is 10% fat. And then he gets sunflower seeds for his coat. What else do you get? Probiotics. But that's what his feed mixture is. And the reason why we put a whole big bucket. I mean, he eats probably 7 scoops of feed we put in there, but he doesn't eat it all at one time. And most mules are like that. They won't eat all at one time. They'll eat what they know they're supposed to eat. They're not stupid animals. They're very intelligent. But we leave that food in there so that he can eat all day and all night. He'll eat a little bit and then he walks off. And then he'll come back and he'll eat a little bit more and then he'll walk off. And he does that. But if you put a little bit of food in there, he's got weird quirks about him. If you put a little bit of food in there, he won't eat it. He's like, I ain't touching it. So you have to put all those different feeds in there for him. And now his alfalfa cubes, they're in a separate bucket. So if he does run out of food in there, if he eats it, too fast overnight, he'll go and eat the alfalfa cubes. He hates alfalfa cubes. But let me set this phone down because it's killing my arm. But you'll see how scared he is of me. We move very, very slowly around him. We don't move fast. We don't want to traumatize him because he can't be fixed. He's too old to be fixed. Come here. Come here. Come here. He's usually not in the barn. We put him in the barn because his pasture is being cleaned out, scooped out. But we keep him separate. I can't remember if I said that or not, but we do keep him separate from the other mules. He actually has his own pasture, his own stall, where he can go in and out, and he shares that with a blue heeler dog. That's his buddy. He did have a horse in there with him, but the horse died of old age that I had since it was born, and it was going on 26 years old. He's buried out front. We have a very large pet cemetery. But anyway, that's Cisco's story, and all we can do is just love on him. We'll probably ride him this year. I don't know. He seems to like it, going on trail rides out in the woods. He's just such a good boy, huh? See how he turns his head away. He's like, no, no. See, he'll turn his head away. He don't want to look at me. See? He thinks if he can't see me, I can't see him. You're such a good boy. Yes, you are. But anyway, that's Cisco's story.